We have with milk and without milk, and it's fresh made. We serve it fresh because we make it here in the back.
27-year-old Giro Balyan is serving up something new in Armenia, fresh gelato. He manages Yerevan's first ever gelato shop.
We have 18 flavors of gelato. This is what we can put in the fridge, but we have 258 flavors in our warehouse.
The most popular flavor, cheesecake, is hard to keep in stock. So that's the base?
That's the base. It's a milk base.
Giro is Armenian, but originally from Syria. He's now moved back to his family's homeland to make it a better place.
You can't do a change when you're outside Armenia. You can't. This is proved. So why don't we move here? Why don't we use the easy way to keep our children Armenians?
I always say that I was not born in Armenia, but Armenia was born in me.
41-year-old Armen Devejian heard that calling. Born in Philadelphia, he grew up in Fresno, attended Clovis West High School, then Fresno State. But now Armenia is home. He moved to Yerevan 10 years ago to work for the church.
What you can do here is things you cannot do in the diaspora. You can actually focus on the future. You can focus on what can we do to make Armenia a strong, stable, free country.
National pride is abundant in this young democracy. You see the signs everywhere. But the work to overcome a genocide and 70 years of Soviet domination requires the help of outsiders.
This is the small center of Yerevan, that's what it's called. And you can tell the generations of Soviet buildings.
55-year-old Salpi Gazarian moved to Armenia from Glendale. She worked for the former foreign minister and now runs a foundation to promote democracy and develop the economy.
This is a world that I want to change in a way that my grandchildren, my neighbors, my friends will want to visit.
It's a common hope from diasporan Armenians who've moved back to the homeland.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
We can try it now.
That this country will grow and prosper, and other diasporans will do the same.
I can talk for hours about that. You have to come here. We Armenians has to be here physically to do the change.
Of course, food is always a big part of any visit to a foreign land, and that was certainly the case for our trip. The Central Valley has many, many wonderful Armenian restaurants, but we found the cuisine in Armenia is somewhat different than what we're familiar with here, however, equally as good.
From the kitchen of a village bed and breakfast.
Here are mushrooms from mountains, chickens, sour cream, and onions.
This is considered a VIP seat, in my opinion.
To a high-end restaurant in Yerevan.
That's a whole lamb shank which is a bit more spicy, and those are the size of my dolma.
Armenian cuisine has been influenced by people and countries.
Turkey, Greece, especially Soviet influences. Borscht is not an Armenian food, but it's something that you'll find continuously in homes, especially during the winter months.
Cuisine expert Lucy Davidian says the food is healthy and simple.
There's a lot of stuffed food, there's a lot of use of vegetables, a lot of use of meat, very little use of spices and ingredients.
This is Armenian pilav. I don't know in English what pilav. Pilav, yes.
We have garden, and we keep this garden just for our use, for our kids, in order to use healthy.
Yeah,
healthy food. Yeah, healthy vegetables.
Villagers grow and use their own vegetables, fruits, and meats. In the city, people shop farmers' markets for produce, cheese, and breads. We saw no fast food chains in the cities, and some food is still made the old-fashioned way.
The tonir is a below-ground brick oven. Wood is smoldering at the bottom, and when the bricks turn red, it's hot. Now, meat can be cooked in there, as well as Armenian bread called lavash.
Lavash appears on every table. The soft flatbread is a staple and is great as a wrap with cheese and greens. Restaurant owner Jarer Avanian has been serving his Eastern Armenian specialties for 13 years, rebuilding on a cuisine he says was tarnished by 70 years of Soviet domination.
Women left the homes, so the kitchen was left behind. When I came to Armenia in '93, I realized how poor the Armenian kitchen has become.
I'm tasting my first authentic dolma.
In Armenia?
Avanian's restaurant Dolmama has contributed to a cuisine revival movement. He regularly serves dignitaries and hungry journalists who happen to stop by.
There's a slight spice to it, but it's so good. It's wonderful.
All right, from food to drink, now we're talking wine and brandy, both significant exports in Armenia and a significant part of its history.
It's a tradition that dates back thousands of years, making wine from grapes. The Armenians have been doing it perhaps longer than anyone. Check out this cave where the world's oldest winery was discovered near the village of Areni. Archaeologists figure it dates back 6,000 years. And it's a practice that continues to this day. Areni villagers sell their homemade wines at roadside stands. Trust me, that's not Coca-Cola in those bottles. Winemaker Michael Gregorian of the Arpa Alco winery says Areni-grown grapes have a dense flavor, unlike any other.
This is why this unique type of wine is produced with a unique taste, which is a little bit similar to Shiraz.
This winery produces 150,000 bottles a year. Most go to Russia, some to Germany, and very soon the U.S. market.
It's good.
And of course, all of you know very well that brandy is a strong alcoholic beverage.
From aged wine comes brandy, a more significant export. The Ararat Brandy Factory in Yerevan ships 5 million bottles a year. A local industry that contracts with thousands of grape growers and employs 400 workers at this factory alone.
As the standards are really very strict for making Armenian brandy, you should make it exclusively from the spirits made from Armenian grapes.
And to drink it properly has strict standards as well.
You know, usually they say that while drinking brandy, we should hold the glass in our left hand, as it should be closer to your heart, just to warm it better.
A warm glass to enjoy, in moderation, of course.
This is just a symbol, which implies that, of course, brandy has a good influence on personal organism, but one should be really very careful not to drink too much in order not to look like him.
One interesting side trip we took in Yerevan was to the Armenian Bone Marrow Donor Registry. That's a project that's been underway for about 10 years. The center has registered about 20,000 people in Armenia. They draw blood or do a simple cheek swab, then process that sample and put the results in a database. Each sample serves as a potential bone marrow donor to Armenians and others in need worldwide.